Hello, good evening. Welcome, cultists of the Shining Icosahedron Great Order. This is the first acolyte for one of us, and welcome to this new special show. Today we have again Farhador. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? Hey,
Thank you.
that sounds like a meme.
I'm good, thank you so much. I am very excited to know about this system because, um, well, you will know eventually why. But yeah, I'm very excited. So before we get started on the specifics of the system, um, let's get a brief introduction. So in 1976, no, I'm just kidding. um, as you know, here in the studio, we are.
Actually, it's 1974, the official
Yes,
invention
that's
of the
true.
role-playing games.
I looked it up before the show and I messed it up anyway. Well, that's why we have Farhadar here, so he can teach us. So we are today talking about your second quick or easy game. How would you call it?
How do I call it? If quick or easy?
Mm-hmm. What would be
Well,
the way to
none of
say
our
it?
games are easy. If by easy you mean that it's really like not difficulty to win.
Okay.
We believe that the best win is the one that you earn, the one that you earn by thinking, by acting, by constructing your own win. So, no, it's not an easy game in that sense, but it's an easy game to learn, and it's an easy game to keep track of. We try to make the chapter sheet as small as possible and as direct in its approach as possible so that you can build characters with a few minutes within any context, and the chapter sheet still stays the same. It's easy in that sense, in the learning and starting to play sense.
Okay, so you can have it in your pocket anytime and you can play it anywhere.
Yes, and soon, if we can uh, keep our goals in the soon to be published Kickstarter project, also in digital form, maybe even in an app in your phone to play really quick and easy, but that will need money, so it's not something that we're going to launch immediately, but it's one of the um, ideas. Yes.
Of the goals. Yeah, yeah, that is true. And you can know more about that once we get to that step. But so far, the description is not different to what we talked last week, right?
Right.
However, this game has a different name. It is ICORSAEDRON, if I'm not mistaken. Is that how
Correct.
you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. It is.
Now let's start with the name. What does that mean?
That's different from the last time. Okay. The name Icosahedron. It's spelled capital I, ICOR SADRON.
Mm-hmm.
Icosahedron. Okay, Icor, not spelled like that. Actually, in Spanish, we would say Ichor or Icor, but thinking of Icor in Latin, if I'm not mistaken, it means like the fluid of life, the liquid of life that eventually turned into the concept of blood. Not on the concept of blood like gore blood, but the blood as the symbol of what
Life?
keeps us running, of life. Yes, of the not fluid. I don't know why that idea sticks in my head. I mean, like the flow of life in its liquid form. That's
Mm-hmm.
ichor. And edron, well, it means the sides, right? Like the polyhedrons or the multiple sided. So ICORSAEDRON. It's a gameplay, wordplay. Sorry, that it also has gameplay, but it's a wordplay on those concepts like blood and the polyhedrons. Sorry, in English is hedrons. Right?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
tricky.
know. So that's the wordplay. So inside of the game, we actually call the dice the blood polyhedrons, but
Okay.
the name of the game is Icorsaedron. We made the spelling so it can be understood. We added the n at the end, so it has more resemblance to the word in Latin. Sorry, no, in Greek,
Mm-hmm.
and also in English. So we try to make the name comprehensible in English and Spanish, so it doesn't need to be translated. And it has their own identity, and this identity stays like intact and cannot be lost in translation. That was the idea.
All right. And does the blood has or the life the
A second. And we love you, Was. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we do. We love you once. So the blood or the ichor, does it have anything to do with the dynamic or like the mood of the game?
Yeah, actually, the game. Normally, when we play a game, there's like some kind of measurement for you to succeed or fail.
Mm-hmm.
These mechanics are what makes the game interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that if you don't have that mechanic, it won't be fun. It can be fun, but it would need a lot of other characteristics and also a lot of effort and identity of the players and narrator, or only players or only narrators, depending on the game, that like keep playing it without having these kind of goals,
Mm-hmm.
like meta goals, let's call them, because there are the goal of the game, so it's something that you player want to keep in mind, or want to do. And even if the avatar, like your character in game, doesn't know of these goals, or do know, like for example, don't die, that your character definitively doesn't want to, or maybe he or she does, I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's something that transcends the understanding of the character. So we will call this the meta goals, the goals that are both in our world and in the game world. So these meta goals normally are in the game for you in the form of a life number, or how do you call it in the D20 system? It's a hit dice,
Yeah.
or whatever in video games, that we try to apply all this gamification stuff for a very long number of years, actually, before we knew it was called gamification. We already did it, like even in the studio, like
Mm-hmm.
putting like little icons in stuff in the daily life. But we try to think that a good battle, for example, in the game, or a good uh, a good negotiation scene would take both the best of both worlds, right? So
Yeah.
it would take the dynamic of a video game, like when you're playing, you have to have this feeling like you're playing like Dark Souls or something, that you have to avoid the damage and to do the damage and whatever, and you can have that in mind. But also you can narrate things that a video game doesn't allow you to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanna, I don't know, think outside the box and maybe tie the Titan's shoes together so the Titan falls. Something
Yeah.
it falls in a in the majority of the of cases, it will fall within the comical terrain, but well, not always. But For example, in this example, that you don't want to fight the Titan, but you tie the shoelaces together and the Titan falls, right? So that's thinking outside the box, maybe in a Nintendo game and not in another kind of game that would be possible. But we try to keep the best of both worlds, right? The narration, and also the meta goals that makes the player engage in the mechanic, and not having the mechanic as just a series of obstacles or something. I've been in a lot of tables when people just don't want to follow the rules because they get bored, or they get they feel like trapped by the rules, instead of understanding the rules like one of the most important things to have fun. Because what would be the fun in conquering an enemy if the enemy was like really, really, really weaker than your avatar, or it was just easy? That would be a sweet feeling of triumph, yeah, it wouldn't be fulfilling. So to connect all these blubber jabber with your question, the the blood polyhedrons have, yes, are in fact the most of the dynamic of the game are alongside this. You have the the common dice. I'm putting outside the percentage dice, that it's a d10 with decimals instead of units. So no percentage dice, only the 6, d4, d6, d8, d10, d12, d20. So you have these 6 dice, and these are the blood polyhedrons that are simultaneously your life force. They are your blood, and also they are the bet you use to try and do stuff. So you use, every time you make a GX, you make a check. Every time you roll with 1/6 of your life. You gamble your life in this game every time you take an action.
So it's way easier to lose your avatar in this game.
Yep, it's pretty much the dynamic makes that if you fail your check, if your GX goes wrong, or you receive damage from an enemy or a trap or anything that can damage you, I don't know, if you try to jump 3 meters and land your head, you will lose in any of those cases, including failing your check. You will lose a blood dice, a blood polyhedron. So you would be 1/6 more nearer
death,
your dead, or destruction, or dissipation, or whatever you want to call it.
All right, and then before we can get deeper into the rules and specifics of this game, last time you mentioned and you explained the difference between a system and a setting. Is this the same, just a system with different possibilities of settings, or is this a system linked to a specific setting?
Okay, this is as Omnidem 2. This is a system that can be used in many scenarios and many settings. So the idea is that as Omnidem, it's a middle tier game where you can level up and whatever. It's created to have 1 shots or 3 shots, few
short
sessions. Icorsaedron is made to create a quick adventure with more or less 7 scenarios. These scenarios are in any kind of setting. You can have 7 sci-fi scenarios, 7 cowboy scenarios, 7 horror scenarios, 7 I don't know, medieval, this big thing.
Yeah.
TTRPG, right?
Okay.
Setting.
So, and to be clear, you mean that you can have these scenarios in one game? Because I understand that the idea of this system is that you, well, you know what? I am going to spoil everything, and let's ask you the question: how does the system work?
Okay.
Because
The
I was
system
about to say
works.
things that I already know. So let's let the author describe it.
Okay, the system works as the following. You have a character. Your character will have a concept. That concept is whatever the character is. It's open because it will fit different kinds of characters or archetypes, if you want to call it like that, depending on the setting. So let's say we're playing zombie game and my character's concept is a mechanic. Okay, that's it. You will understand why the concept is important. So you can have like meta concepts, like very open and like general concepts, like the Machiavellic. How do you say it in English? Machiavellic
Yeah.
prince. Like that's like a big concept, like very general, right? Or you can say a mechanic, or you can say a tap dancer with a preference for, I don't know, gummy bears.
So this
Really
would
specific.
be like in some games it's considered the background. Like what was the
Yeah.
character doing before we started with this story?
Yes, in most games, especially D20, the background it's or totally defining or absolutely worthless. I've never been in a table that like balance it.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
we think actually that the concept of the character has to do both. Actually, has to be a defining structure, but socially defining structure. I mean, narratively defining structure for the character to help you understand who the character is, and also not get in the way of the game.
Okay.
I mean, meta game, the mechanics. So that's not an easy thing to do for most people. There are people that can manage it, and normally it does help a lot to have a concept, a clear concept of what your character is. But okay, let's roll a little back. Yeah, it would be like the background of your chapter. In the case of Icosahedron, this is purely narrative, but it does use some mechanics.
Okay.
Okay, I'll explain better a little bit further.
Yes, of course. So we start with the concept.
Yeah, so you put your name, the name of the avatar, the concept of the avatar, and then all avatars, independent of the context and the name, obviously, have the 6 blood polyhedrons. These 6 blood polyhedrons, if the stream master could lend me a hand and put the sheet in the screen, that would be very helpful. So these blood polyhedrons have 2 spaces each at the right and at the left side. These, you can see that there's the sheet in the screen. You can see that in total you got 12 spaces, 6 right, 6 left.
Yeah.
The left ones are called talents. The talents are the narrative structure of the game that defines what your avatar is good at or what your avatar would do. We'll see that later. And in the right side, you got the equipment
Okay.
spaces. So every blood polyhedron has an equipment and a talent.
And do they have to be related?
They don't have to be related, but if they are related, they will have a bonus.
Okay.
So it's tactical that you try to use them like in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these polyhedrons are also your life force, as I was saying before. You
Mm-hmm.
can see that behind, below every polyhedron, there's a little drop.
Mm-hmm.
This drop is the drop of blood that would represent that the polyhedron has been bled out.
That's when you fail.
Then when you fail or when you receive damage, you bled out
Oh.
the blood polyhedron. What happens when you bled out all your polyhedrons? You are completely bled out and then you die. But a bled out polyhedron can be recovered if you get healed, but it's not as easy as it sounds. And every time you heal, you will only get one polyhedron.
Oh,
But
okay.
more that later. The polyhedrons not only get bled out, they also get exhausted. Why? Because this is the tactical part of the game.
Okay.
If you have 6 polyhedrons, you would be using the polyhedron that best fits your convenience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that gives you the most advantage.
Yeah.
And that would be the D20, always having higher numbers, and therefore
Right.
you would use the D20 for everything, right?
Yeah.
So the tactical thing in this game is that you can only use your blood polyhedrons once in sequence. To gain back your polyhedrons, you have to exhaust all your polyhedrons. So if you use the D20 first, you won't be that polyhedron gets exhausted, and you cannot use it until you have your full set again.
Okay.
If you also, I don't know, you bled out the D12, then you cannot use the D12 anymore, and you would have to use another die. So the thing is that exhausting the die doesn't make you hurt, but it makes them incapable of resolving another GX, at least at that time. If you exhaust all your remaining polyhedrons, you are considered completely, I don't know how to translate this because it's if it's agotado is exhausted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Abatido would be where?
So if it's exhausted, let me
I don't
think.
know,
I'm not
like
sure.
beaten.
Yeah.
That's a good translation. You would be beaten. The beaten state makes that you are unable to respond or unable to take actions because your avatar is just too tired to do so. When do you recover this? When you get to the next scene, or everyone in the scene, including the enemies, are beaten down. If everyone gets beaten down, they get the state of survival. In survival, everyone, including the enemies, get back half their pool, half of their remaining pool. When I say remaining, I mean the not bled out polyhedrons. So if you have only 2 remaining and they were exhausted, you recover only 1. If you have the 6, you will recover 3. So that makes the survival, it's like your last chance of doing something in that scene. That's one of the things in this game. This game, every scene, it's a play against time too, because if you don't get to do what you want in the 6 rounds you have, that are your 6 polyhedrons, you will be beaten, and that takes you really near destruction.
Okay.
So it's a game that it has a meta chronological, I don't know how to say that, you're against time, in every scene. But the time is not time like literal time, but a number of rounds, 6 by everyone, but you can skip your turn. So it can be really long actually, but eventually everyone will get beaten if you don't
Finish
get
the scene.
your goal of the
Yeah.
scene.
Okay, now we have a question on the chat, and I do also have a question
Yes.
about what you just explained. But before we can move forward with that and to fix the meta question we have, can you explain a little bit more how the scenes work?
Yes. Okay. The scenes are like in any other TTRPG. The scenes are the situations that you are on. Let's say, I don't know, it's an investigation game, like I don't know, paranormal detective stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you are in scene 1. This scene is a mansion, the mansion of the Colonel Mustard that was assassinated with a candelabra or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Please don't sue us, Hasbro. The thing is, you're in the mansion, and that's the scene. So the characters will have, you have to find the candelabra. You have to
Okay.
find the candelabra. So you have your 6 polyhedrons to try to find the candelabra, but you will only use the polyhedrons if you do an action that needs to be checked. So you can say, okay, I run up and down the mansion and I'm watching and whatever. Okay, then you reach this room. Is this the master bedroom? And it's really messy. There's a chaos in here. Someone really ransacked this place and make a little vandalism on top of it. So how do you find it? That would need a check, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
these checks don't go against a set of difficulties. That's not how this game works. It just sorry, it goes against a set of difficulties. But the thing is that you don't know the difficulty, or you can know the difficulty depending on if that it would be obvious to your avatar or not. Okay.
Okay.
So the difference between Omnidem doesn't have a set of difficulties. In Omnidem, you play against you. You
Yeah.
play against your
Your
number.
number.
So there's no need for tables. There's no need for the narrator to concentrate in that kind of stuff, like the numbers and stuff. That's always resolved with your own GX, and that's why Omnidem it's pretty fast-paced in that sense. There's no need to check tables.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, the tables are really simple: 3, 6, 9, 12. Those are the ordinary difficulties. Actually, it's not called difficulties; it's called adversity.
Okay.
The adversity is 3, 6, 9, 12, and then the extraordinary difficult adversities are 15, 18, 20 plus. These are decided for a description, and okay, in this example, that you reach the master bedroom, you see all this chaos, you would know what the difficulty is, okay? Because it's obvious. That would be, you tell me, simple, easy, hard, or heroic task.
The easy.
If it's you are looking for a candelabra that it's in all this mess, you think you have to think a master bedroom of a mansion that has been ransacked. Everything is tipped over, everything is all over the place, and there's vandalism. I mean, they broke the furniture, there's pieces of it everywhere. How hard would be to find a candelabra in this mess? Okay.
It's going to be hard and it's going to take time.
Okay, that's what I would do. maybe you could be an more softer narrator and say, okay, it's easy because, and here is the place where it takes one of the places where your character concept comes in. My character concept is detective. Okay, so this task would be hard for most people, but for you, it's easy because you are a detective. You have those skills.
Of course.
So, because of your concept, this becomes different. Okay? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay, so for most people, this would require 9. The players know that hard means 9. So you have to choose which polyhedron are you going to use. You already know you need a 9 or more.
Yeah.
So which polyhedron?
Well, if this is the goal for the scene, then I would go for the highest, so I have more chances to win.
Okay, then you use the D20.
The D20.
Okay, let's say you pass it. Cool, you found the candelabra, but now you got your D20 exhausted for the rest of the scene. And suddenly the narrator says, when you find the candelabra, you hear a couple of cars parking outside, but they're not parking like quietly. They go screeching, and you can hear the screaming, yelling outside. Go! You go behind! You know there's something hard, and they sound pissed off. So you know there's going to be fighting.
Okay.
What do you want to do? Do you want to stay and fight? Do you want to like maybe sneak? Outside the mansion, you already had the candelabra. That it was the objective. That's a scene. The scene cannot have more than the number of difficulties equal to the number of scenes. So in scene 1, you will find 1 problem. In scene 2, you can find 2 problems. In scene 3, blah, 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 blah. What kind adversities? Sorry. What kind of adversity is this? The adversity of finding the candelabra. So in scene 1, finding the candelabra is your own adversity. It has to be the only one? No, not forcefully. Depends on how the narrator construct this. You can say, okay, your only adversity in this scenario is getting the candelabra. It's like your goal. But to reach the candelabra, you have to avoid these dogs. For example, the dogs are not an adversity per se, but they will bite you. So they work as an adversity, but it's not a goal. You don't have to defeat them. But in scene 2, for example, this is the one that I was narrating. Like you have to find the candelabra, and there's going to be a set of agents that are here to stop you from running away with that candelabra. So there are those 2 adversities. Find it, get out.
Okay.
Alive. You can choose if you kill them or not. Why choose kill them? Okay, because maybe the players, none of them were detectives. One was an assassin, the other is a brawler, the other, I don't know. And maybe that's your strong type. That's the thing. Not only that, if an adversity has a weapon, you can carry that weapon. So defeating an enemy would mean taking an object. Not always. There's going to be adversity that are going to fight you pugilism style. So pugilist style, sorry. So if you defeat them, you are cool, but that's it. And you're not gaining anything else. I don't know. Maybe you can search for him in the person, and maybe you can find, I don't know, a gold chain, something. I think gold chains for a pugilist is kind of logical, right? Okay.
Maybe
I think I'm thinking I'm too
watch.
But but the thing is, this is another of the mechanics. Treasure. This game is constructed to be fast-paced, and there only has a number of scenes. But because it is limited, a gun has limited ammo. It has as many ammo or ammo, I don't know, ammo, as many bullets as its level. So if it's a level 3 gun, it has 3 shots. If it's a level 5 gun, it has 5 shots.
So the level doesn't tell how, let's say, hard it hits, or
yes,
things
it
like
also determines how good the weapon is.
Okay.
So if it's a level 2 gun, it only has 2 starting bullets, and they are also bullets that can do 2 damage.
Okay.
So, but think about it. Every avatar, every character here that we either it is an avatar or a persona, I mean an NPC, they have only 6 blood. So a level 2 gun needs
it's a third of your
any enemy, at least any ordinary enemy.
Yeah.
Because there are extraordinary adversities. In the extraordinary adversities could be stronger.
Okay. And just to close with the scene question. A scene ends when you get to the goal.
Yes, a scene ends when you get to the goal. That goal, we have a generator in the manual, so you can create goals easily. And you can also, even you don't need a narrator, even you can just like roll for the goals, and you can see the different difficulties. And there are occult difficulties. In this example, we were saying you get to the master bedroom, you see the chaos there is there, and you know it's going to be a 9 or a 6, whatever, depending on the narrator. But if you're not playing with a narrator, you get to see like the list of goals, and it says it is a 6, so you can try to play for it. And in this case, it becomes like a similar to a risk battle, the risk the game. Yeah. Like, you know how many units the enemy has, you know how many units you have, and you just have to roll to see who of the soldiers have better aim, right? Okay. That's a bit of it, because you can also skip the narrator, the narrative, and you can say, finding the candelabra. Okay, yeah, I get to there. So it's a 6. Oh, damn it. Oh, and you can kill yourself, like, just
so it could be even playing with yourself, like these games where you have like 2 options and you select one, and then you go to the next one and you select one.
Yes, actually you can, in the manual there's also the possibility to create a multi-option scenes that get to the same goal, and you can like go choosing, and they have a different levels of difficulty. That makes it like a good option even to play solo. Obviously it's better with more people, but
of course,
whatever, it's good still.
I mean, you're
playing, so you can have in the near future, maybe an expansion or something that we would need money to make, because we would like to make a card expansion for this game, so you can create scenarios through a deck. But this would mean that we have to print things, and we have to bring additional illustrators and other stuff, so we can create the deck. So that's going to be a Kickstarter project to be able to have the funds to do it. But one of the ideas is this, that you eventually have a deck that makes the construction of the scenes of the whole act scenes, not acts. Sorry. Doesn't matter. The same. When the manual is out, there will be an official name. But for now, it's scenes. Makes the construction of the scenes and the whole like fast-paced game easier and illustrated. So, but sorry. Coming back, there are also a hidden adversities. So let's say you are in your 3rd scene. So there's 3 adversities, right? By the way, I didn't say this before. This is the number of adversities per player, not overall.
Oh,
So in the scene
yeah.
one, there's one adversity per player. So
Okay.
if there's a party of 4, there are 4 adversities. This is chosen by the narrator. So if the narrator knows that in scene one, there's 4 people, so you can choose have from 1 to 4 adversities. But the max is 4. Why do we do this? We put that limit so the game has a progressive stance.
Yeah.
Further into the scenes, harder the game. And it's so much easier if you don't leave this like at random. Just give a limit, and it's easier for narrators to have to like squeeze their
Yeah.
adversities.
Yeah, it puts
This is
limits and
something we
structure.
created originally for Postomini, but we took it borrowed for Icosahedron. Yeah. What?
I said it gives a structure. So, and I'm sorry, let's answer the question in the chat. I think you, well, no, yeah, let's answer the question. The question is, once you use the die, will be discarded, or you can use it multiple times in the scene? And I guess the answer would be depends on the result of the die, right? Because if you fail
Right.
it, then you cannot use it. But if you win the check, you can use it on the same scene.
If you win, you still get it exhausted.
Oh.
You still get it exhausted, but you keep it.
And
It's just
when the
exhausted.
scene ends, it comes back.
You get it back. But if you
Okay.
bleed it out and the scene ends, you don't get it back.
You have to get healed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So as you can see, if you bleed 1 die per scene, you will die before the game ends.
Okay, yeah.
And for example, if an enemy has a gun, in difference to other games, you cannot say like, yeah, I have tons of life, bring it on, bullets. Here, if the gun is a level 4, you will lose 4 polyhedrons if you get hit. So
Wow.
you almost die. And if it's a maximum level gun that it's 5, level 5, you will also get almost you will you could get 1 hit killed.
Okay.
Actually, I'm mistaken. No. Yeah. The maximum is 5. Sorry.
All right, no, don't worry. And okay, we have a question in the chat. Is all
Yes.
of this going to be explained on the manual?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I agree with Wes. There's a lot of things that the narrator has to handle at the same time in order to play. And speaking of which, the other question I had is, you as a player have your 6 die and you have your 6 talents and your 6 equipment parts, and that's it. But the personas will have also 6 each of them. So you as a narrator have as many sets of die as personas you're handling.
Well, you don't have to have that many dice.
No.
But you will have to keep track. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But the idea is as follows. If your adversity it's a simple adversity, it will have a maximum of 3 things because it's a level 3 adversity. So it can has 2 equipment and 1 talent, or 3 talents and no equipment, or whatever. So if you have an heroic adversity, it could have 12 things. That means that can have 12 items. No, it have 6 talents, 6 items. But this is the thing. When you create enemies, that's a rule for all of our games. When you create enemies, every level of the enemy has to be sorted between one of 3 things: abilities, items, or levels of that item or ability. So if I give them 3 guns, they're always going to be 3 level 1 guns.
Okay.
Do you get me with that?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, that was rude of me. I'm sorry. Am I making myself clear? I don't
Yes.
know if
Yes, I
I'm
understand. I
part of
understand.
it.
And please, in the chat, if you are not understanding any part of this or you have follow-up questions, let us know and we can explain and get deeper into that.
I read here something that was already taken. It's asking, look, in every one of our games, there are strict rules always. Like this is the starting number, this is the final number, tal. But in the end of every of our manuals says how to bend our rules, how to break our game and make it your own, because that's the idea. We will structure a game that we like, that we think it's balanced. But in the end, what matters is that helps you and your players, or you and the narrator, or whomever is playing, to have fun and learn about yourself. Those things are our number one rules. Well, number one and two rules. Like, and it would be actually for me the other way around. Like, learn about yourself and have fun. So yes, to answer, yeah, it's going to be strict in the manual, and at the end of the manual, it's going to be an extra part that says how to not do this the way we said it, but still keep it relatively balanced. I don't know if that answers what you are asking. Was okay.
Let us know. All right. So you were saying about the talents and the equipment. And I have a question. So you have the equipment space, and I guess the plus sign is whatever extra it gives, right? Or
Yeah,
whatever ammo it has.
Yes. Well, the bonus and the ammo are different. You can see below that there's little circles. That's the ammo. That's the ammo. So you can have a full circle means a one ammo.
Okay.
And so then you can see that even if your gun it's, I don't know, level 2 and has 2 bullets only to start, that's
you can get or find more.
You can get more bullets and keep your gun.
Okay. And then the small diamond, what does that mean?
The small diamond means that the dice, that polyhedron has been used in an item, not in a talent. When you exhaust your dice, your polyhedron, you will place it. If the idea of the character sheet is as follows: you put your physical polyhedron, your physical dice, on top of the die it corresponds in the
okay.
So if you use it for a talent, you displace it to the talent space. So that means that it's exhausted because of a talent. Because there are items or abilities that says you can recover a talent.
Okay.
But if your polyhedrons are all in items, you cannot recover because it recovers talents, not hidden, not items. Sorry.
Okay.
Do you yes?
Yeah.
And
so in both cases, you move it.
Yes, but if you are using digital dice, you cannot move anything in the character sheet yet until we have our digital sheet. So you can mark the diamond to know that you used it into the item. In the case of the talent, you mark the center of the spiral.
Oh, that's pretty. Okay. All right. So that's the way for the digital character sheets to be marked. And in the physical ones, you just move them to the sides.
Yes, you just move them and you don't have to destroy your character sheet.
Now, quick question. How hard it is to get healed?
How hard is to get healed? Okay. In the concepts, we are going to put some proposed archetypes for the players to take if they want. There are some archetypes that are support and healer archetypes. If your archetype it's a healer, it may or may not have a healing talent, or more than one. So you can use your talent and you display your die if you succeed. Bleed it out if you don't. And you can recover one polyhedron of an ally. But obviously this is going to be different for every healing. If the ally lost a limb, that's going to be heroic to recover. You get? But if you say, okay, I only wanna stop the bleeding, okay, that's easy because you are a medical expert or whatever, like a healing drone if you want, whatever you do, your concept is. So because it is easy for you, you can even use a d6 for it if you want.
Okay.
Not only the items can be used to heal too. For example, there are healing kits. The healing kits have, depending on the quality, you can a legendary healing kit can recover 5 polyhedrons.
Oh wow!
Because that's the power of a legendary healing kit.
Yeah.
But tell me, are you going to use a legendary healing kit?
Well, yes.
Maybe.
No, to be honest, I'm the type of player, at least in video games, that I save everything as long as I can, just in case in the future gets harder. So I guess that I will, if I'm a support here, I would leave my other players to die or something like that. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, probably I would save it for the end.
I always do that in the games, and most times I end the game and have all my healing potions and all my things because I reload it every time I get a little bit hurt.
So this is
if I don't do it perfectly, I don't do it.
Again, close to your style, to your personal style.
Yeah, but actually, I have been changing that because I later in my life thought that was pretty cheaty of me, you know. To reload, that's not something you can do
in real life. Yeah, that's true.
You better use those potions, man. Especially if the game has a overload system, overload mechanics, that usually like breaks me. Well, whatever. Coming back from that, so you can see that this is the character sheet, and you can use talents or items either to heal, to protect yourself. If you can, my dear stream master, put over the ampersand logo the type of items, please?
Oh, items.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know how I heard you, but thank you.
It's the stream master. He's everywhere.
Oh.
While that appears, I see. Oh, well, never mind. I think you're going to get to that after you show the items. So let's be patient. Oh, I was about to ask about the treasure, but I saw the interview in Spanish, so I won't spoil anything.
No, actually, yeah, we're going to that. Okay, there's the time of items that it's not yet on the screen, but the type of items are offensive, defensive, and support. So there it is. Those kind of items are the three kind of items and can be used by any. You can cover me. It's not a problem. My beauty will shine through the GPG image. Okay, but these type of items are going to be specified in every item. So if your talent, for example, would be like a supporting type, you would be stronger with that kind of item.
Okay.
But to get to that, the talents are divided. Can you please, Stream Master, put the types of talent? In every one of our games, the talents are and the how do you say rasgos? Attributes?
Traits.
Gracias. The feats are color coded. We use chromatic ordering. So the other day, someone told me that's because you were to a Montessori school, and I thought, shit, that's true.
Yes, it is.
They teach me the things by color. Oh, okay. You can see them now. The talents are blue for intellect, green for instinct, orange for celerity, and red for constitution.
Okay.
Those four are only the ones that we propose, but actually you can make your own. We're going to make some possibilities in the manual so you can create your own if you want. But these are our basic ones. We have others, like for example, gold or yellow for fortune, black for synergy, or purple for arcanism. But those are like other kind of talents. So how does color talent functions here? If you have a talent that it's, I don't know, lock picking, that would fall in celerity, because celerity governs how fast and well you move your hands. Well, actually, hold your whole body. So that would mean that when you pick the talent lock picking, that is an orange talent.
Okay.
So if you put an item that gets in line with celerity, for example, a pole arm or some kind of moving gear, or some kind of something for speed, or a lockpick, for example, or a blade, a small blade, that kind of things that would work with celerity, with speed, like with the velocity,
like throwing daggers.
that item would have a +1 in a passive manner, because the color code checks in. That's the most thing in this game. A +1, it's a lot.
Yes.
So if you have, I don't know, a superior quality item, that means that it does +2 to whatever. I don't know, you have a knife, that knife makes +2 because it's superior. Okay. And that superiority, actually, it makes +2 plus the 1 that it's the base damage in the game. So it makes 3 in total. But also you have a talent of celerity. That means that polyhedron that has both, it's a celerity polyhedron. So it has +1. Your knife does 4 damage, being only superior. Does the same that would an exceptional one do in the hands of someone that does not use celerity. So the talents makes all your stuff more powerful. Also, you can use your talent without the item. For example, you have a polearm there, but it's lock picking your talent. You can say, will try to lock pick. And this lock picking uses this polyhedron. Let's say you have lock picking in your D8. That means your chapter has an orange D8. That D8 is a celerity D8. And that's the possibility you have with your lockpicking skills. You cannot change your talent of place. Once you put it there, that's all.
For the rest of the game.
Once you have 6 talents, if you can learn a 7th talent, it's like Pokemon. You will have to erase your memory. I don't know, you take a drill and that was dark. Sorry. You just forget one of your previous talents and get the new one. That would cover almost everything. the final part is the treasure point. So this is a fast game, and it's not made to have a long list of treasure and items and whatever. So if you find, for example, in that the pugilist comes here and you defeated the pugilist and you find a golden chain, that golden chain, you will take it, and when you take it, the world pauses and you make a fortune roll. What the hell is fortune roll? The fortune roll, it's a roll that you will do with the polyhedron. Can you please use the Stream Master, put the fortune chart?
Sure.
Thank you. That you will do with one of your remaining polyhedrons. In this case, it doesn't matter if they are exhausted, but if they're bled, you cannot use them. You can only use exhausted ones. So you use one of your exhausted ones or your available ones, and you can see here that a D4 will always give you the possibility of a inferior or normal, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But a D6 will give you inferior, normal, or superior, D8 to exceptional, D10 up to superb, D12 will reach legendary, and a D20 has also the full capability from inferior to legendary. So this is a fortune roll. A fortune roll will give you treasure and also will give you the quality of the items. So if you open a box and there's a gun, you will roll for the quality of that gun you just acquired.
And this fortune check will not exhaust my die?
No, the fortune check does not exhaust the die, but it has to be done with a exhausted or remaining polyhedron.
Yeah, not bled ones. Okay.
That's why it's so important to be tactical about using your polyhedrons. So when you get treasure, you don't get in your chapter sheet, I have a golden chain from the pugilist. You say, okay, I just got the golden chain, and you make your roll. So I don't know, let's say you get 3. That's a normal gold chain, and it means it gives you 1 treasure point. So you put 1 treasure point. You later get I don't know, a tiara with a submerged motif. And this tiara is actually what we put in the manual. And this, well, obviously it's a Lovecraft reference. These submerged motifs are exquisite and they're exceptional. So you roll and you get an 8. That means this tiara has 3 treasure points. As you can see, it's low because we don't want to use Final Fantasy numbers and have like, I got 1 billion treasure points. Ah, cool, you can have a gun. So you, we want to like play with low numbers, so it has a more sense to be able to take a lot of treasure. What's treasure for? That's an excellent question. Treasure, it's for buying stuff, buying manuals that give you talents, or buying ammo, or buying new guns or new equipment in general. From who? What are you buying? What are you selling? I don't know. Guys with
the weird guy in the alley,
and a lot of guns in their backpack that will appear in any scene. We will have in the manual 3 or 4 vendors. I love writing vendors. I really like it. Like I've written for our Chronica, like, I don't know, 20 different vendors. like superstructure. Everyone has a different way of summoning them. I really like that. So we'll have I don't know, 4 or 5 options, so you can put them in your different settings. And these vendors are going to take your treasure points and in return give you new equipment. The number of treasure points you need to buy the equipment is the same as the lower number of the fortune GX you need to have them. So a legendary will be 10 points.
Got it. Yeah.
A superb 9, an exceptional 7, a superior 5, a normal 3, and an inferior. I don't know why would you want an inferior, but it's 1.
Okay.
An inferior has a bonus of 0, so it does 1 of whatever it does.
The normal.
1 of defense, 1 of attack, or 1 of whatever.
Okay. Now,
and in treasure, an inferior, it's worth 0 points.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you only save the D4 at the end of the scene.
And to close the treasure point things, let's say you have that beautiful gun that it was superb, but you don't have ammo anymore, and you don't want to keep it, because if you keep the gun, even if it doesn't have ammo, you will have to have the item slot occupied.
Yeah.
So you don't want, you just found that flamethrower you wanted, so you don't have a use for this gun, and you say, yes, but maybe we reach the vendor. Yes, but you will have to walk out without the flamethrower. Do you want the flamethrower that has its uses right now, or do you want to keep the gun? Maybe there's a vendor. No, I want a flamethrower, but I don't want to, like, it was a superb gun, you know? Doesn't matter. There is the how do you say this? The scrap mechanic. So you can get treasure points by taking the valuable parts out of your equipment if you want to convert them to treasure points. But once you convert them to treasure points because you scrap them, it's only treasure points. You cannot unscrap them to have the items again. The scrapping works in the next way. You will have to scrap them, and you will get 1 treasure point for its quality, plus 1 treasure point if they had ammo left. You say, I don't know, I don't want this gun, it has 1 bullet more. Okay, it was I don't know, a superior gun. Okay, then you have 2 treasure points when you scrap them, and because it had 1 bullet, you get an additional treasure point.
Okay.
So you got 3 treasure points for scrapping that gun with a little ammo, and now you have your item space free.
And once I convert my item into a treasure, I cannot take it back.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. If you break it and you sell the part, you cannot take it back. Okay. And then I have a question that is something that I know in most games it is ignored. We put a lot of effort in describing our character and how the clothes that this person is using or the colors of the clothing. Does that affect somehow, or is that something important in this case? Because you mentioned, for example, the gold chain. And the gold chain probably doesn't have anything to do unless it's magical. Yeah, exactly. You cannot put it on equipment. If I want to wear it, does that modify anything?
If you don't want to scrap it, but for treasure points, for whatever reason, you can put it in a free item space. but that wouldn't do anything actually,
Yeah.
not mechanically. Um,
But it's going to occupy a space, even if
yes,
it's
it's
an
going to
item
occupy
of
a space.
clothing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh.
you it doesn't work for anything, but it is because this game, it's a fast-paced game. It's not going to be too much time for really styling the things or whatever. And also keep in mind that here, for example, they could be like a beautiful mink. I don't know. I don't want to say kill mink. So beautiful clothing,
Mm-hmm.
in whichever setting, you know. That could give you, I don't know. It's superb, so it gives you +3 to convince someone. Could be, yeah.
Okay.
So that would be a support item.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
But if it's not like that, it's just treasure.
Well, I really want to play now. Okay. So, well, I think we got all the mechanics to the point. We have the treasure, the items, and again, just to clarify, and so everyone can keep it in mind, this can be played in any setting that you want. You only have to adapt the, I don't know, temporary elements to the die that you will be using, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, we're going to put in the manual some settings
Mm-hmm.
that are meant to be played as our games as a studio, but we're going to open them so you can play it like
Yeah.
without having to use our games, but you can like do whatever your imaginations let you do. But we're going to cooperate so you can create fast scenarios and play like immediately as fast as you can.
Okay. All right. And Eligan Rasta is asking if this will be presented in the Mega XP. And the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
So if anyone is not aware by now, we will be there. Part of the team of AMPZND Studio will be there. We will be narrating 2 games, one on Sunday, one on Saturday. Well, Saturday and Sunday. So if you will be at the Mega XP, please come, say hi, play with us if you have the time, or just say hi.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Just one more thing that is very exciting for me about this game is that you can have different color of the die because of the oh my god, what's the name? The different
Talents. The
talents. Yeah, the color of the talent, and that's something that I am very excited about because I like dice.
yeah, a little bit. That the idea is that when we have the Kickstarter, the idea is that you will have a 6 set dice for each one of the trait colors. So you can, if both your talent and your item are the same color, you change the red die, not the black die, because that is the basic one, for the red or the blue or the yellow, so you can like visually remember what kind of strength does that polyhedron has. So you at the end, your chapter will be tactical too. Like I am the best in part. My D20 is red, so I'm the strongest in party.
Mhm.
You someone can say, oh, my D12 it's a blue it's a blue one. So intellectual things could be better if I do it.
Yeah.
So the difference in the party, it's going to be interesting. Someone can have like the D20 and the D4 the same color. So yeah, I just forgot. I told you when we were reviewing the S scenario that there are things that you will know
Mm-hmm.
which kind of adversity, which level of adversity they are.
Mm-hmm.
But there are hidden adversities. For example, traps. You cannot
Oh.
see the traps, and therefore you wouldn't know how hard they would, how hard it is to pass them. So you're running and you hear a click, an ominous click.
Oh no.
Now you have to make a check. What? A check for what? I don't know. Choose
And you
your
have to
polyhedron.
blindly select.
You have to blindly select.
Oh, I mean,
Yes.
I would use, I don't know, D6. It's kind of safe. Sounds safe.
I don't know.
Right.
There's some things that we're like clarifying. For example, maybe the adversities will change difficulty to be lower. For example, simple to be 1, easy to be 3, hard to be 6, heroic 9, because of the high difficulty of the game. So there are few things, but in the Mega XP, it's going to be the final draft of the manual. So don't worry, when you play it there, it's going to be like almost like the final thing.
Almost like the final. Okay, well, I am very excited to play this game. Well, actually, narrate this game. I'm very excited to see anyone that will be at the Mega XP this July 6, 15 and 16. Yeah. And I am very happy that I had you here on the Shining Icosahedron Great Order. Thank you so much for coming and explaining the game. I am sure that our future players and current players will be happy to hear the rules and the explanation, because sometimes reading a manual is not enough. Having you here explaining the idea and not only the specific rules, but also the emotions behind those rules is something that you cannot find anywhere, or it's not that easy. So thank you so much for coming. And thank you to the cultists that are here or that will be watching this video later on. Real quick, next week we have Friday, Eternublet. We have Saturday with the High Priestess Menatura, La Orden del Icosahedron Fulgurante, and we have on Sunday the Shine Icosahedron Great Order. So please stay in touch. Anything else we will be posting on all social media. And unless you have anything to say.
Well, I would like accompany you with the slogan. I can read in the chat that since they vegan follows us, his checks are always critical. Thank you.
That is true. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. May your checks be always critical.
Perpetuo.